In this video, we'll be taking apart the OnePlus 13. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified once I upload a new video. Also, if you need any tools, there are links in the description. To start, we'll remove the SIM tray. Looking at the SIM tray, we can see a red rubber gasket around the opening. And keep in mind, the OnePlus 13 is rated IP68 and IP69 water and dust resistant. Now heat needs to be applied to the backplate using either a hairdryer or a heat gun to loosen up the adhesive underneath, and then a pry tool can be used to pry the back cover off. I prefer to use a hairdryer since there's less of a chance of damaging any of the components inside by overheating them. Here's a better look at the nice looking microfiber vegan leather backplate. The glass camera lens cover can be replaced by applying heat and prying it off. But if you plan on replacing the entire camera bezel, there are 4 Phillips screws on the back which also need to be removed. Now prying this back cover off will take some time since the adhesive around the back plate is really strong. This is also due to the fact that it's rated IP68 and IP69. Looking closer, you can also see these gold contacts, which are also part of the antenna assembly which is built into the camera bezel. There are now 20 Phillips screws which need to be removed. Taking a look at the top cover, we can see the NFC antenna, as well as another antenna flex cable located here. There's a rear microphone, dual LED flash, the rear ambient light sensor, as well as the laser autofocus. The wireless charging coil is located in the back center, and there's graphite film to help transfer heat. Here's a look at the other side. The battery cable can now be disconnected, followed by the rest of the cables. As for the coaxial cables, those can be disconnected by just popping them off. There are also 2 Phillips screws which are holding down the main board. Taking a look at the main board, we see a secondary microphone on the top corner, the 50 megapixel primary camera, a 50 megapixel telephoto lens, as well as the 50 megapixel ultra-wide lens. The main camera and telephoto lens are the only ones with OIS or optical image stabilization. The camera connectors can be disconnected by just popping them off, and there's a metal shield or cover which needs to be removed over the connector for the primary camera. There is also some copper film or tape over the shield to help transfer heat. Another thing to point out, this is a dual layer motherboard, and there's a fill hole over here on the motherboard where thermal paste is injected in between the 2 boards to help better transfer heat away from the bottom area of the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. So that additional attention to detail should help to provide better cooling and keep temperatures lower. Taking a look at the other side, we see the 32 megapixel front facing camera, an infrared or IR blaster, as well as additional thermal paste and copper film to help transfer heat. Once the copper film has been peeled back, we can see additional thermal paste on top of the RAM, which is seated over the processor, as well as a thermal pad on top of the ROM or storage, and the thermal pad over this chip. Here's a better look at the RAM with the thermal paste removed. Here's a look at the bottom speaker assembly. In order to remove the battery, there's a pull pouch provided to help you pry it off. Here's a look at the large capacity 6000 mAh battery, with each cell consisting of 3000 mAh. And as always, OnePlus keeps forgetting to put the K for PBK, so I'll have to remind them about that. Once the battery has been removed, we can see these flex cables, which connect the main board to the subboard. As for the screen cable, it's connected to the subboard on the bottom corner, so if you needed to replace that, you'd have to remove the back plate, the screws on the bottom speaker assembly, and the speaker assembly itself, giving you access to the screen cable, at which point you peel off the graphite film, and disconnect the screen cable, heat up the front of the phone where the screen is to loosen up the adhesive underneath, pry the old screen off, apply new adhesive, reapply the new screen making sure you run the flex cable back through the opening in the mid frame, and reassemble the phone. There are rubber gaskets around these connectors on the subboard, a thermal pad over this chip, and there are two bottom microphones. These two bottom microphones are becoming more of a norm on more of the latest flagships. The SIM reader is located on the other side, and there's a red rubber gasket around the charger port itself. Also, for anyone worried about accidentally inserting the SIM ejector tool in the wrong hole, on this phone you don't need to worry, since both the filters and microphones are seated above the holes, so they won't get damaged. Moving on, we can see a very large haptic feedback or vibrator motor. If you need to replace that, you can just apply some heat and gently pry it off. There is also a rubber gasket and mesh filter over the speaker opening on the frame. Once the battery adhesive pouch and the flex cables have been peeled back, we have a better look at the large copper vapor chamber, which runs underneath the battery, as well as the motherboard. And we can see cutouts in the frame, which allow more of a direct contact with the vapor chamber to better transfer heat from the processor, as well as the camera. To replace the flex cable for the volume keys and power button, this black plastic bracket needs to be pulled out of the frame, and then the flex cable can be peeled off and removed. As for the buttons themselves, there are white plastic brackets inside the frame, which will need to be pulled out, and then those buttons can be released and pulled out of the frame. The proximity and ambient light sensor board is located here, and this is the top earpiece speaker, both of which can be replaced by applying heat and gently prying them off. So overall, this phone is a well-built device with a lot of cooling that should help keep temperatures low and the phone running smooth. The back cover may be a little bit difficult to pry off, and again that's due to the strong adhesive, which does help give the phone an IP68 and IP69 rating. However, aside from that, the parts are fairly easy to replace, and the battery adhesive pouch is nice and easy to use, making it nice and easy for battery replacements. For For the repairability score, I give this phone an 8.5 out of 10. Now it's time to put the phone back together. Once everything's back in place, apply a new adhesive and reapply the backplate. Flip over the phone, power it on, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.